because it started with Stephen and Will at the Tropical Grill. And we got together and we did lunch, and we had some tough conversations, and they really challenged me to look at what it was that was going on with me here with Engage. Speaking, the way that I was doing community, the way that the little brother, big brother thing was playing out in my life, to really look at, was it where God wanted me to be? Was I really being responsive to God's plan there? Or was I trying to make it look like what I thought it should look like? Make it look like, fit it into my box. And it was for me, that was a really challenging conversation, and it made the last week and a half really suck. I'm an engineer, and so my whole persona, my whole identity is wrapped up in this idea that I like to define problems, and I like to solve them. I like to ask the right questions, figure out what the right issue is, and then come up with a good solution. And this sounds really nerdy, but 2 weeks ago I had a performance eval, and my boss said, one of the questions was what motivates you about your job, and this is verbatim what I wrote, was to find a simple solution to a complex problem. And it transfers. It's just not my work life, but it's my spiritual, my life with my wife. We were on vacation a couple weeks ago, and it was awesome. We're at the beach, North Carolina, and just, first time in a couple years that I just relaxed and just not thought about everything and not had 1,000 things going through my mind. And about halfway through, my boss texted me and asked me some questions about a project that I had kind of left behind and was going to wrap up when I got back. And he was trying to wrap it up in the time I was gone. And there was this sense of intensity, a little bit of, hey, I kind of nailed all the bases I need to before I've gone. Why are you bugging me with this on vacation? And just all that intensity, my work, my problem-solving mentality just flooded in. And we're driving down the road, the beach road, and my wife was finally like, look, pull over the car. We need to stop. We need to deal with this right now because you're unbearable. The last couple days have been great. And this intensity, this is just, you're taking yourself and your work too seriously. And it was like, again, a problem I could define. We could pray about it right there, let it go. The rest of the week was great. Sat on the beach and did nothing. But this idea of what am I doing in community? Getting up here speaking. Is this what God wants me to be doing? Am I doing it right? Do I have the dedication? Am I doing it God's way? Am I trying to do it my way? That was a question I couldn't even put in a box. I couldn't even ask the right question to how to define it. And I think that for whatever reason that brought up in me this flood, and it felt like I was the guy after the shipwreck hanging on to a board of just washing over me of all these questions and thoughts that had kind of been shoved away because I'm a confident guy. But it was, should I really be up in front of these guys speaking? I look around this room and I see guys who've been doing this for a lot longer than I have. I've only even known what it meant to surrender. For a year. I look around, I see guys who do community better than I do. They're more connected. They're better at talking to people. They're better at reaching out and staying in contact with guys. They do more than I do. It's why can't I solve this problem by doing more, by doing something different? And yet there is a sense that I can't solve the problem by doing more. The questions of, am I following God? Am I being responsive to His direction in my life? That's not a question I can just go do something and solve. And then it was thinking back about all the times I've sat at tables. I've been sitting there and we're talking about some tough stuff, and I'm thinking, there are guys in this room. And I think of Steve Collins. He's been doing this thing 30 plus years, following. Why isn't he sitting in this chair right now? What am I bringing? Why does God have me sitting in this chair? What am I bringing to the equation here? Why does God put me here? And I really wrestled with that all week. And it was tough because there was this contrast going on this last week of, in other places in my life, in my work, even hanging out with Jill. You're coming off vacation, and there was a sense of peace. There's a sense of, I felt good. I felt relaxed. I felt this sense of purpose, and it was a sense of peace that I was able to let go of that intensity that I'd been living in for so long. A couple of years before I'd really relaxed, since I'd really relaxed. But yet there was this contrast. So every time I was alone, whether it was in the shower or trying to, go to the Bible and have like a quiet time and think about these questions, again, it was like this thing washed over me, all these questions, all this doubt, all this worry, all this, I've got to try to get my hand around this question and this problem, and I just can't. And that was the week. That was the week I had. And I just started to think, I've got to get up in front of these guys. But I still don't have an answer to this question that I feel is just basic. I feel like it's should I be up here? Should I be doing this? And I don't know. But what kind of came about this week was this question, and it kind of started to get down to the basics of if everything in my life is going really good and I've got peace everywhere else except for this church stuff, do I keep doing it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it to do community? Is it worth it to keep following if everywhere else in my life is going pretty good and this community stuff is just ratcheting me up, turmoil? I can't solve that problem. And again, knowing that I was on the schedule, when we schedule these things a month out, of having to get up here on a Saturday morning. And so I called up Will and Joe and Steven. I said, hey guys, I need to talk. So we got together at lunch, and finally kind of all that stuff kind of blurted out. It took a while because I was having a struggle even defining what was going on in me. But Steven, in his gentle way, said, you're insecure, and for whatever reason this week, all your insecurities have come flooding out, and that's what you need to talk about on Saturday morning. And then they kind of helped me ask the right question, which was, when you're in that place where you don't know what to do, what do you do? I've asked that question before. I know the answer to it. It's you do what you know to do. When you don't know what to do, you do what you know to do. When you don't know what direction God is taking you in, don't change. Just do what He's already shown you to do. And so the last couple days, I've kind of gone back and just tried to get on my face before God and just say, okay, God, what's the deal? What's been going on this last couple weeks? What's the principle? Not just the confusion. I know that's going on, but what's the principle that's been happening here with me? What do you want me to go out of this with? And it was kind of weird because the whole idea of being insecure, being weak, I don't do that. I'm an engineer. I'm a guy. I'm a confident guy. I don't like to even think that I have insecurities. But I recognized that for a while I've been asking those questions, same questions of why me, why am I good enough to be doing this? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Looking around and seeing guys who are better at it than I am, and thinking, what can I do to get to be like them? What am I doing wrong that I don't see myself like I see them? But I pushed those questions down because I knew the answer. The answer was, I was supposed to follow God and yada, yada, yada. But I didn't let myself ask those questions. And so this last week, it's just come flooding out. but getting down on my face and saying, okay, God, what am I supposed to learn there? He kind of took this last week and he did a 180 on me.